Okay, so maybe you've been watching my tuning videos where I've been tuning a violin or a viola. Well, okay, most of that does apply, and most of it is basically the same. The instrument is just, 10 times bigger. Most of it is actually the same because you have pegs, you have fine tuners, you have four strings, and a tuner is a tuner. So most of it is the same. But I thought I'd make a separate special video just for you because there are a few extra challenges when you play an instrument that is roughly the size of half of your body. So, we are going to just talk about a couple of those challenges and how I deal with them. If you have a cello private teacher, definitely ask their opinion. Although I have been playing cello for many years, I actually am originally a violinist. So although I have been playing cello since about the 90s, still, there are things I have to learn too. But I'll tell you what I do with them, and then if you take private lessons, then you can check with your private teacher. Totally fine. And then tell me. Okay, in the meantime, let's take a look. I wanted to show you, first of all, how I brace myself, how I brace my cello when I'm going to be using the pegs. Just like for a violin or viola, I put the bow down somewhere safe, and then I'm going to turn around the cello and face it. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm also going to lower the end pin so that it's a little easier to manage. Okay? Then that puts me into sort of this position. I've got my strings now facing me, and my pegs are up there. So what I have is I have my knees holding the cello. This just helps me stabilize it. There's just so much going on here. I need my hands to work on the pegs, and this eliminates having to hold the cello so much. Then what I can do is I can focus up here. And I've got my tuner, I've got everything set up just like the other tuning video, so I won't go over all of that right now. But I will say, I'm going to put one hand on the shoulder, I'm going to pluck with that thumb, and I'm going to be using my other hand to do the pegs. Same as with the violins and violas, if I need the other pegs, I switch to this thumb. Also same as the violins and violas, if I need to turn those pegs, I'm going to start the easy, safe way. I'm going to start by turning it toward me, right? That direction, I'm not going to break anything. The only time you'll break a string is when you put it under too much tension. So by loosening it, nobody ever broke a string by taking off the tension and loosening it. So if I need to tune, let's say my A, so I make sure I'm going to find the correct peg by following up the string, just like all the other string instruments. Brace that cello with my knees, my hand, and then get the hand on the peg. Start by turning it toward me and down. Now the peg is moving, so it's not going to suddenly pop forward. And now I'm going to just follow my tuner, which is over here on my music stand. There's a lot to fit into this little screen. And I'm going to go gradually up toward that A while plucking. Notice how little I'm moving. Again, it's tiny amounts. Also, notice that this takes a lot of muscle. You will see I'm working here. Exactly in tune, but at least my tuner now says A, so then I can switch to fine tuners. On cellos, we often have the extra trouble of getting that peg to stick, and they often do that thing where they roll right back down once you get to the pitch. How annoying. Well, it's one of those things. We gotta learn how to deal with it. So, what you can do is First of all, you notice when I did this, I am putting myself in a position that I can really put some muscle into it. If you really can't get it to stick. But again, be careful, only go tiny amounts and make sure that you know when to stop. Is you can actually stand up and you can actually get a bit more power on it that way. Keep plucking. It's a little harder because now I can't hold it with my knees. That says G sharp on my tuner. But there is something about being in this position See, I've got my elbow up quite high. Alright. By getting my elbow up like that, I think that just gives me a little bit more power sometimes. But there is the drawback of the cello then being able to spin a bit. So I try to get it from this position as best I can. We're going to do some fine tuning. Now, easy for me, it helps if you have incredibly long arms, because I can actually reach all the way over to my fine tuners with my arm. Now, not all of my students can quite reach that yet. It helps. If you can't quite reach there yet, there are ways around that. So you can bring it a little bit spinny, all right, and then thread your bow under this arm. It's a little awkward. You don't want to do it too much. D, also still a little bit tipped over, just so it's closer to my right hand. I'm bringing the fine tuner closer to my right hand by tipping it. And then for G and C, you might go the other way. And I've even seen, I'll have to show you this, but I've even seen students who successfully did this. So this is my left arm going all the way the wrong way. And that plus that lets me reach the G and C fine tuners, but move slowly. Make sure you have some control. In that case, it was really just, I was making sure I had it on my knees and I had it with my chest. I was sort of making sure there were at least 3 points of contact at all times, because you don't want your cello falling over no matter what, even if it is out of tune. So that's the challenge of the fine tuners. If you can reach all the way over like me, congratulations. If you can't, it's totally okay to do a little bit of creative positioning just while you're getting tuned, and your arms will grow. That gets you started with the basics of tuning applied to the cello and some of the special things that we need to do to get ourselves tuned. So, happy tuning and see you in orchestra.